The time of year for mentorship is coming in. Our new mentorship class will be beginning Friday, August the 16th for Level 1 students, Level 2 students Friday, August the 23rd, and our continuing mentorship students will begin Saturday, August 4th. And we have a very special announcement. For those of you who would like to purchase the mentorship and the live event coming in October, we have a Together special where you will save $500 when you buy both of them. We have payment plans available also. You will be getting, as usual with our mentorship class, 8 hours of group teachings. That's 4 2-hour classes you meet every other week. You will also have 2 private sessions with me. For those that are in the level 1, we'll have 2 half-hour sessions with me. Those in the level 2 will have 2 45, and anybody in the ongoing mentorship will have 2 1-hour sessions with me. You can save these sessions, they're good for life, or you can use them during the mentorship journey. You will be able to come and share that community journey by coming to the event, having that community journey with the mentorship people, and I look forward to seeing you at the live mentorship and the event coming in October. Thanks, everybody.
Hello, I'd like to invite you to embark on this transformational workshop as you journey to become an ancestral medium. Are you ready to learn how to speak to the ancestors in a sacred way? Would you like to learn how to receive wisdom and teachings from your spirit team of elders? Join me as we learn how to set up ancestral communication. We also visit the ancestral hub of interconnectivity. We learn how to set up the Dreamer's Lodge among the soul family members. Also ancestral medium revocation soul surgery. We also connect to the grandmothers and grandfather collectives, plus many more ancestral teachings and techniques for you to connect to your guides and guardians. Join me on the 22nd of September, 5 p.m. till 9 p.m. UK time, 12 p.m. till 4 p.m. East, as we journey to meet the ancestors. I look forward to seeing you on this journey, and to book, visit daletobin.com, and there's a contact form on there for you to book on. Thank you, and see you soon. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Talking Stick live call-in show. So I'd like to welcome the hosts we have this evening. We have Laura Massey. Hello, Laura.
Hi everybody. Hi guys.
And we have the infamous great David Ellis. Hello, David.
Hey guys.
Nice to see you, David. And we have the Galactic historian, Mr. Andrew Bartzis.
Hello, everybody. How's it going today?
Hello. And joined with the great Amy Kruzic.
Hello, everyone.
And we have my side partner, we have Bob Anderson to the show for his first time.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
So welcome everyone to this call-in show. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be placing the link. If you want to come and have a reading from all of us, the link will be in the chat. Joel's just about to put it into the chat. So just click on the link and you're able to come in. If you can come in on Google Chrome, that's good. But if you can't, it's fine. And also, if you're listening, please click subscribe, like, and comment during the show because we really appreciate the feedback. So, Laura, where do we go from here? How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you, despite all the chaos and the, as Andrew's always called it, grab your popcorn moments. And we've had quite a few of those, haven't we, guys, over not just the last week, but the last couple of weeks. So it seems to be an ever-moving platform of entertainment, if you look at it that way, in a nice sort of detached, unweaponized, unentangled way. It's something that can be enjoyed.
We've nicknamed it the Apocalypse Season 1. We're up to episode 3 now.
Yes. Yeah.
And we're getting new characters in as well. All these new characters are coming. The old characters are going, the new ones are coming forward.
Exactly.
The old ones are tripping over their trousers that are around their ankles. That's the thing.
Yes. Yep. Good visual, Laura.
David Ellis, what are your thoughts on this?
So I want to talk about mental health for a second. Now, mental health can be defined many ways.
Ooh.
So the first thing I want to talk about is so many people live the negative perception, separate of politics. They're constantly poo-pooing themselves, constantly putting themselves down, or in a state where it's a tug of war to get anything positive out of their internal journey. That is a negative mental health state. Many people listening to this channel are challenged with a long-term negative mental health state. And long-term negative mental health states create issues in the body, mind, spirit, all of which have to be treated as a complex being, some individually to target at one subject matter so you can get yourself elevated so you can deal with others. But we want to talk about mental health and anybody that's calling in, some of the things that you struggle with, and allow us to give you some advice that changed. And then, at another show a month from now or something, come back and tell us how those changes have helped you.
Beautiful. So David, is there anything you wanted to add to that about mental health before we bring Andy in, our first caller?
Yeah, well, I was working in mental health for a very long time. Negativity is part of what it says it is. I think a lot of people, when they hear the word or the term mental health, they have an idea about it. And the idea is they are crazy people and they're not crazy people. While I have something to say where that is concerned, our understanding of mental health is based on statistical sanity, which means that we're all kind of crazy, but if the majority of us are doing something and you're doing something else, then you're the crazy one. That is the foundation of what we call sanity out here in the Western world. As opposed to the Chinese concept of sanity, because asylums are different on different parts of the world, where sanity is defined as if what you're doing is causing you a problem, then you are insane. Okay? So I just want to make that distinction because a lot of people are labeled mad. Because to be quite honest with you, if I had to be very impartial, all of you on this panel are crazy. All of you. Y'all are doing something different that the majority of the population are not doing. Therefore, y'all are in the crazy category. And I'm just going to put in a call to the guys in the white coats. Andrew, you would be the first one to go. Right. So, so I think that is a very fragile thing. So, like some people, all the shamans will be crazy. Everybody into spiritual work will be crazy. Like you guys talk to people that don't exist. You have imaginary friends according to the Western concept of sanity, and therefore you are not. And
crazy than a sheep in a pile of sheep.
Yep. So I just want to make that distinction. Just in case you think you're crazy, reevaluate that. Reevaluate when you use those words. Yeah.
Thank you, David. So we have our first caller in the back room. We have Andy, just bringing you on now. Hello, Andy. Are you there?
Hello, yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you just fine.
Yeah.
Whereabouts are you calling from?
Manchester, UK.
Oh, yes, cool. Really,
Should you
really
be able
cool.
to
So
see
what?
me, or is it fine like this?
Yeah, you can have your video on if you want. It's up to you.
I'm
Andy,
not sure how to turn
are
it
you
on, to be
calling?
honest.
Andy, are you calling because you're depressed that Manchester United is in that state?
Yeah, absolutely. That's just why I'm calling.
Go ahead, Andy.
So,
There we
Andy,
go.
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well,
Hello.
I wasn't aware I was going to come straight on like this. I thought I was just joining like a chat, and then you ask a question and get picked. But am I the only one here?
Yes,
So far,
you're
yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
How long have you been listening to us for?
Well, Andrew, I've been listening to you for probably since around 2020 when COVID started to kick off. And David Ellis, we've had a quick chat on one of your calls around 2021 maybe. But it's my first time listening to this thing. I just saw it on YouTube, and usually I want to speak to you, Andrew, on the adventures into reality, but it's a bit late for me where I am.
So what do you want to talk about today?
So the theme's mental health, right?
Yep.
I guess what comes up when I hear that for me is just how hard I find it to like get enough like social interaction. So I do like tutoring online mainly, and I do a little bit of coaching, like self-awareness stuff, parts work. I'm currently in TA therapy once a week, and I'm starting to want to adopt that kind of thing into my own work as well. But because I work from home, it's just the typical problem of feeling like I don't get out enough.
So it's fair to say you have a full hermit's card.
A full.
You're in the Union of Hermits.
I wouldn't say that. Like I feel like I'm proactively trying to go to things. You know, I'm scanning Meetup. I'm going to things. I'm trying to get out. I just can't. I don't see much going around. Like I go to bed early.
So
do you find people tiresome?
A lot. Sorry.
Do you find people tiresome and challenged to talk to?
I have had issues with groups, yeah, in that sense, like getting drained in groups and gradually feeling that is improving. Yeah.
Because as you came in straight away, it was like as I was reading, you have a hard time dealing with pain of others. It's like as you go out, you physically pick up pain, depression, sadness, anger from people, and you have no awareness about how to be in the body, how to go out in big groups and stay in the body. So for me specifically, I recommend you is to start training yourself to be in the body first. Then when you're in the body, you're able to deal with going out there. So you're not being an empath and you're not in other people's field picking up their shit. A question for you: what is it actually like? Can you go through going out? What does it feel like to you when you go out into groups? Just explain what some of the feelings are going over for you.
Yeah.
So just picture yourself going out into a big group. What are some of the feelings which come up for you as you go out? Before you head out, what are some of the feelings before you go out the door? What are feelings going to the venue when you're there?
I'll first put out that I'm pretty sure I have ADHD, so there is a degree of. I feel like I find it hard just to like decide on a group to go to without worrying that I'm just not going to have enough purpose there or something to do. Like if it's just going to be mindless chatter, it's just too scattered for me. And then I start to think, why am I even doing that? Is that really what I need right now when, you know, I want sort of more interesting connection or something that's going to give me more security and like meet other needs. So I guess that to answer your question, it's like concerns around like, oh, I'm just going to be the only guy there, like I'm turning up alone and I don't know people. I tend to go to one-off things, and I think what I want to say is how it's hard to find consistency, like a group that I can go to consistently, where you just start to feel that sense of community. It's more like I'll go, like at the weekend I went to a puppy yoga class, and you go when you're on your own, you sort of might say hello to that person, but some people are with friends, and then you leave, and it's like, okay, I got out, but there's not been any connection as such. I've tried a lot of spiritual communities within the city, but they tend to be a lot of, I don't want to sound too judgmental, but a bit, it's the usual spiritual trend stuff of like ecstatic dance. And there's a lot of like spiritual ego around it where, just cacao ceremony after cacao ceremony, and just doesn't really, I don't connect to it really. So it just brings me back to what I was saying about mentally, I struggle knowing that I'm not getting as much social interaction as I would like to consistently. And that's a bit of a feeding loop of I'm not getting out, and then I feel a bit anxious, not getting enough.
Just ask, did this start at when you were a young adult? As in, like, when did it start at the age? Was it?
I mean, I would suspect it's a lot to do with growing up an only child with a single mum.
Yeah.
Being isolated quite a lot, never really feeling much belonging growing up. I tend to do a lot better one-to-one. And I guess it's like a case of I've never really had a true home within a group of people where it's just been safe and normal to be within a group of people consistently. So as I've started getting out more and being in groups, I mean, it's not like I've not been in a workplace. I used to teach English in a school every day. That was really vibrant, but then since COVID, everything fell apart. And now it's a case of being sort of just feeling like a lack of social interaction. And when I do go to group things, I've noticed that there is this sense of like, oh, like you mentioned, I don't quite feel how I fit in. And I am like attuning to a lot of everything else. And that has improved over the last year. But that's just, what comes up regarding mental health and the theme of this call. So you were saying like get in the body more first.
So as you're going through all of those, like before you go out, all of those thoughts coming into your head like that is that you're totally out of the body. So as the more thoughts come in your head like that, the more out of body you are. So you're actually taking yourself more and more out of the body. Laura, David, is there anything else you want to add into here?
Yeah, I'm going to ask a few surgical questions. Andy, when was the last time you had intellectually stimulated conversation?
Probably a couple of nights ago on the phone. Why are you laughing, David?
For somebody on the phone. Who are you speaking to?
Oh, so I have a very good friend in another city.
Mm-hmm.
We're very much on the same wavelength. We, occasionally watch Andrew and other things like this. So we have long phone calls. I get like deep chats over the phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna interrupt you because I'm going to ask you a few questions that are surgical. I want them one after the other. Be honest. Do you find that when you go out, part of the reason why you have trouble intermingling is because you have an analytical mind and you have an analytical blender that people pass through, and some of them get ripped to shreds in your analytical blender? Yes or no?
Can you just clarify analytical blender?
Okay, so like let's say you go out and there's a group of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you see the group of people and each one of them is an individual with certain kinds of behavioral traits and stuff like that. But because you went and studied all the stuff that you studied, and you have an intuitive background on board, you see the things, the drives, the motivations, all the things that are coming up for them. Because you do parts therapy, you do every analytical science known to man. You just told me that and earlier on. And so sometimes that could make people either interesting for the wrong reasons or just disinteresting, correct?
I'm not sure. Are you saying that? Are you talking more like I'm judging people?
No, I'm not asking whether you're judging people. I'm asking whether you're analyzing them.
I'm aware that there is a kind of maybe there's some kind of analyzing going on. Yeah, as almost like a detective thing.
And why do you think that is?
Well, probably because people, it doesn't feel entirely comfortable or safe to be in a group of people.
So you need to know what you're walking into, correct?
Well, like prior to going into it, I want to sort of be able to be.
There are two things that I'm trying to get at here. First of all, seeing a group of people, what happens in your mind in micro-analysis? What exactly are the processes that you go through? All right, so you come into the pub. Laura, Amy, Dale, and Andrew, who you can't see, all right, because he's in the ether somewhere, are in the club. And we're in the pub or whatever, right? And we're chattering along and so on and so on. And you are walking towards us. What is happening in your mind?
Okay. Maybe trying to define like what am I here for? What is the purpose of this interaction?
Mm-hmm. And then what?
Who do I talk to? What? I'm not sure. It's hard.
Okay. So do you see how do you feel when you're walking towards us? How do you feel inside?
Well, I'd probably feel like an outsider originally, like initially.
Okay, so the next question. If you were walking towards Laura, Dale, all of us, and we're in the pub together, which one of us would you talk to first? I'm going to hum the Jeopardy theme song while you think about that.
Probably. Is Andrew included in that?
Yes, you talk to Andrew. Why?
I'd probably go to Andrew.
Why me?
There's things I actually want to ask you.
Yeah, but you don't know who Andrew is. This is a completely whatever. All of us are in the club. You know what Andrew looks like.
Because I have no picture.
Nice one.
Okay, so
right. All of us are in the club and we're vibing. You know, the music is playing. We're chatting.
We could role play this, you know. We could role play it.
We're chanting the Manchester United theme song.
Personally, I wouldn't be in it. I wouldn't be in a club because I just don't really go to those.
The pub.
I don't go to clubs and things. I mean,
whatever.
If it was like a relaxed place, as like a social thing, and you were all strangers, I probably wouldn't even walk up to a group.
Why?
I would probably sit somewhere and try and like almost like wait for someone to come to me first, or just feel out the place. Like I even used to like take a journal and a pen just so I could sit and like write down what I was feeling, just to try and ground.
Okay.
And
so
then
you have a grounding issue?
maybe within groups.
Amy, do me a favor, please. You're the one who's going to go up to him and tell him and introduce yourself. Hi, what's your name? Go ahead.
Okay.
Good at that stuff.
Hi, Andy. How are you?
You're in the club.
Oh, I didn't know him. Sorry. Let's do that over. Hey, how's it going? How are you? What brought you here tonight? What brought you here tonight?
I just thought I'd come down, check it out, and see if you can make some new connections.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, same thing. So I'm glad that I came up to you and hey, let's go grab some soda. How about that?
Really, you buy them a drink already?
I don't know.
A green smoothie.
Easy, Tiger.
I said soda.
Predators here.
Smoothie.
A drink is a drink, AB.
Okay, sorry. Well, okay. How about a plate of food?
Why don't you introduce it to your friends?
Yeah, have you come alone or have you come with friends?
I got a group of friends. Yeah, I got a group of friends over here. You can join us if you want.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay, so Andy, you're in the mix.
Yeah, this is David, and this is Laura, and Andrew, and Dale, and Bob.
Hello everyone.
Hello, nice to meet you, mate.
Hey, nice to meet you. How you doing?
Are you new to this area, or you live here long?
I've been here a while. Well, I grew up in this city. Yeah, but I just
moved here, so they're all showing me the ropes.
Yeah. What were you guys talking about before I came over?
Manchester
the fun things to do in this town.
Mm-hmm. Good places to eat. Do you like eating? Do you like good food?
I like eating, yes.
Cool. Well, Andrew and we all do too. So we're just like, I don't know if you know any good eateries in the area.
Not so much. I tend not to eat out a lot, but.
Well, you have to come with us when we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. We can do that. Am I passing the test, David?
So I'm just pointing out a few things in this interaction. You seem very reserved.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? What's going through your head in this exchange?
Well, this whole scenario is just a bit bizarre to begin with. So there's that.
I think it's bizarre. You're talking to bizarre people, right?
Don't you know we're all crazy?
It's like
crazy guy.
We're all crazy down here.
Have you heard about what Andrew said in the past about removing stumps from asses? Have you heard about that saying? Spiritually, when he talks about removing the stump from your ass, yeah.
Yeah, you said sometimes a recent call about having fun, not having fun.
Well, it's just like, so as everyone was asking you that question, it was like you were that strategizing everything you were saying, but your personality wasn't there and the flow of you wasn't there, and it was just completely strategizing. What should I say? I don't know what to do. And it's how you can actually access you, the authentic self, and have fun, enjoy yourself, allow people to hear your words, who you are. Everyone wants to listen to your story, and it's how you can actually accept.
I can answer your question now. Now that you're talking, what's coming up is like there's an anxiety there right now. I'm not maybe fully being myself. And to answer your question now, Andrew, what goes through my head is sometimes, like often actually, is like who do I be right now? It's like there's so many parts that kind of come up, and I'm like, okay, do I do this thing? Do I be dry humored now? Do I be funny? Do I just wait for them to speak?
You have a computational analytical process, what David was trying to allude at before. Okay. David, you want to add your 19 cents there?
I think that you are being reserved and you're not volunteering information, and this is in an social interaction. It's not an interrogation, right? I highly suggest you join MI5. Your face and the way you answer is immaculate for that, but for social interaction, not so much, right? The reason why I say that is that there are wheels turning in your head, And in a social I'm sure everybody on the panel can see the wheels turning in his head, right? Right, there's wheels turning in your head, and in a social interaction, it's not going to appear like wheels are turning in your head. It's going to appear like you're being very careful and you don't trust us, right? Which makes us not trust you, and this is why certain interactions are going to go that probably not as well as expected. Like the way Amy approached you was in a typical Amy fashion. Hey, how's it going? Where are you from? Let me buy you a drink. No, right. That's a whole other show. We're talking about mental health today.
We were at a club.
Right. Right, let me buy a drink.
You're putting in that soda, Amy.
I got too much. I got too much into the role.
Right. But she approached you with an openness, which wasn't there when you were speaking to us. So the openness wasn't there because we just want to know who you are, who's Andy. And Laura started asking you about like what you do and so on. And you gave her one sentence answer. Very measured, very whatever, very MI5-ish. Hi, what's your name? This is not name, rank, and serial number. This is not what this is, right? This is a social interaction. So I think Dale's point about being in the body is a very valid one because you're very mental. You're in the head. We could see that, right? Right, which is why we should have added music to the social interaction, loud music, right? Because people are freer in that kind of social interaction, and is the openness that they're looking for. Now, I think part of that, and from what I was picking up from you, part of that is that you have a filter that you're looking inside yourself. Are you trying to look outside yourself at the interaction? And then you're trying to figure out what to say at the same time. That's a traffic jam in your head, right? That is a traffic jam in your head, and you don't need a traffic jam because look at us. We don't really think about what we're going to say next. Trust me.
You can tell that sometimes.
You can tell from, can I buy you a soda? Like, we're not thinking about what we're going to say there. It's just fun. And so sometimes it doesn't matter what you say and stuff like that. I understand that we're living in a world where everybody's very measured in what they say, and I think the world is like that. But I think part of what is happening with you is that you're analyzing, and the different perspectives that are happening in your head is causing a traffic jam. So sometimes it might be in your favor to just throw caution to the wind and just, say, hey, Amy, buy me a soda. Or something like that. Or like, I like eating. What do you like? What do you like eating, right? Or just make a comment. If you just make a comment to somebody, this is a technique that is a very good technique to use. You're in a social setting, there are people around you, and so on. Make a comment to somebody, and say, "Yo, is that denim? That is the coolest denim ever." Right? Just an offhanded comment. It doesn't say, "Oh, it's not a pass. I'm not trying to make a pass at her." Right? I'm like, "That is a cool denim shirt." Laura, look. Could you just raise your hands up? Because look at that shit right there. Right? That is cool. Period. It got the tassels. Right? It makes me want to square dance and everything. Right? So my point is,
that's straight from the 80s. The only thing she's missing is the leg warmers.
That thing is cool. So when you say that, it encourages conversation. That is a technique that you can use, right? Right? That's a very good thing to use, right? And go ahead.
I want to tap into the core. He's incapable of doing that in a flow because of his analytical nature and trying to manipulate internally his own self. Am I interesting to them? Can I make them interesting to me? Because he's been in a very heady, high philosophical state for so long. Would you agree with that, Andy?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So why do you keep yourself in the high philosophical state?
I'm not always in it. Like right now, you're seeing like me online with all you guys staring at me. It was very quick coming on here, a bit anxious. I can be very grounded and chilled and dry humid and a bit surreal, and I can feel, provided I kind of feel at home in the place, like in a workplace where everything's cool, and I do have quite
Andy,
a good, yeah, but
what's your diet like? What type of diet are you on?
vegan, but plant-based.
Yeah. So what type of things do you eat during the day? What's your regular day like meal plan? Say breakfast,
Proteins.
lunch, dinner.
And I get my 40 grams, yeah, before you ask.
Good. You're a good vegan.
Good.
I'm a good vegan.
lad.
Well done. That's brilliant.
Well
Do you know
done.
what I want to ask you? Is when were you last tickled? Like
When I was-
bodily
when I was
tickled?
last
Was it like a child?
The
When you were
women
a
of
child?
this podcast create another show.
But it's made you smile, see? You
Yeah.
remember how it feels to be tickled as a child?
Not really. I don't think I liked it.
You didn't like it, okay.
You smiled again.
Yes.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
Yes. There's something
Right.
more about
This is just all a bit
the-
crazy, isn't it?
it's almost like the being tickled energy just allows that spontaneous laughter, because you've seen babies when you tickle their feet and you get that real spontaneous laughter. And then you let down, and then the stick drops out your backside. And it's almost, I feel you need something like that to get you from your head space into your heart space and back into your body, like all the guys were saying about getting the grounding in, because life is quite, it feels quite serious for you. And once you drop out of that and you get into a more relaxed mode, that's why I'm saying sometimes just being tickled just can flip the frequencies.
Okay.
Can you see where I'm going with that, Andrew?
Yeah, I think if we relate this to like the free child part, being
Yeah.
kind of suppressed and not coming out enough, I'm well aware
Yeah,
of that.
Can you self tickle?
Yes.
Can I self tickle?
The bottom
say
of
Can
that's
the
you
not possible.
actually trigger yourself by trying to tickle yourself to laugh and giggle?
I've never tried that.
See it as a challenge.
Yeah.
Is that my homework, to tickle myself?
Yeah. Or something.
Yes.
Me and
Something
Dale show you how to
Don't do it in a bank. Don't do it in church. Right?
In a bank or
You
not?
won't go
or
blind.
church? What?
You won't go blind from tickling yourself. Okay.
Okay.
So yes, it
Well,
is
you
a
can get-
challenge.
Get one of those. So I recommend get one of those head scratchers. You know, you put on your head,
Mhm.
like wires there, and you go up and down, and they tickle the shit out of your head. Like I literally laugh my head off. Try one of those. That'll get you to laugh.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say about if I just go to places, but I'm just not? Other people are having fun doing regular things, but I'm just like really not feeling it. Like what a lot of people do for fun, the ecstatic dance. And do you see anything there? You picking up on anything where?
I think you're not embodied a lot, and so ecstatic dance is not going to appeal to you because it requires a certain amount of embodiment to enjoy. But I think it might be. Here's my suggestion to you: the things that you don't like are the things you probably should run
Yeah.
towards in this instance, right? The things you don't like is the things that you probably should run towards. And I say this with all earnest because I grew up in a place where, you know, it was a very strict environment, right? And there was meditation, and I'm vegan, just so I'm clear, right? And so I grew up in a
David's
place where,
killed a few lettuces in his time.
yeah. So I which is a very strict environment, and the whole dancing, ecstatic dancing thing was not necessarily encouraged, or we didn't even know what that was. It was just meditation, right? And I suggest that at a certain point in time when you enter society, you gotta learn to detach a few things inside yourself, right? And that is an unsafe place to be for people who are highly analytical, but it is the best place to be because the body has its own wisdom as well, right? And I say wisdom because no matter how analytical or intellectually feel you are. When you get into that feeling sense, it opens up a new kind of what is the word I'm looking for here, guys? It opens up a new kind of paradigm of knowledge, of knowing that you probably didn't have. No, yes, it's an expression as well, right? So in this case, I suggest you go towards the things you don't like. So what I would suggest you do is you start practicing more embodiment stuff, specifically because you don't enjoy ecstatic dance because you don't see the point of it. But there is absolutely a point of it, and it's an experience as opposed to an analytical process. Does that make sense?
Maybe I've done it. You know, I've been a few times, got involved, but after like a few songs, I'm just like, okay, this is boring now. I want to talk to someone, but then I'm surrounded by everyone, and everyone's still going for ages, and I'm like, okay, this.
What was going through your mind when you were doing the few songs?
Okay, sorry, repeat.
What was going through your mind when you were doing the few songs? Were you thinking about stuff? Or were you in the flow?
Probably half and half.
Yeah. The point of ecstatic dance, the reason why they call it ecstatic, is that you are embodying music and flow and expression. That's why it looks so disjointed or whatever else, because it's not a linear square dance routine. So in order for you to enjoy it to its fullest, you have to be in it, right? You have to be in it, and it has to be in you at the same time. And all of this sounds very weird and whatever else, but to experience that thing, that's why they can go for hours, because they are fully embodied in that thing. As to why they do it is the next question that you would probably want to ask. They do it because that flow opens up places inside of themselves that they didn't have access to if they were cerebrally focused.
And there comes a point where you actually let go of the mind and you're able to enter that flow state, basically, and start going into many layers of the self. And it's such a deep healing. Like, I've done quite a few dances before, and 45 minutes or 20 minutes it took me to like let go fully of my mind on one time. But you just have to keep going and going until you actually let go of the mind and fully experience the music, start doing crazy shit, crazy movements. Sometimes they offer where you can have your scarf around your eyes, so you're actually not focused on anybody around you. Is that something they offer where you've gone, where you can put stuff around your eyes so you're not looking around yourself?
I think I've seen pictures of that, but not where I've been.
So that might be something to get for next time. You can get like some head, to cover your eyes, because a lot of places do that where you're able to cover your eyes. So you're solely focused on yourself, you're not looking at everyone. What does that guy think of me? What does that guy think of me? And so on. It really does help.
I get, I mean, on the ecstatic dance thing, I've done it. I got quite deep in it, but it kind of like, it only lasted so long. And I realized maybe I'm wanting to talk to people more and have like that more connections.
But what you're doing is
I lacked growing up. It's like it almost feels like still a void of enough connection with people.
So that part of you is always coming in and completely stealing all the goodness out of you. So you'll have goodness, and that part of you, that personality, is just coming in and completely taking all the goodness and throwing it out. This is shit, doesn't work. It's about how you can allow yourself not to allow that part of you to take over and completely destroy the moment. And that's
the part that just wants to talk. It's saying this is pointless. I just want to talk.
Yeah. Where you'll have a great time, but all of a sudden that part of you will come in and you had a shit time. It's all forgotten about. The garden's been taken out. Like Andrew talks about, you completely ruin your garden again, have to start again, over and over again.
The inner saboteur, Andy. Saboteurs all your best move.
Bob, do you want to?
Yeah, little techniques. Obviously, I can relate to you being in like big crowds and stuff and like taking on other people's energies. It's like start telling your body what you want out of that night. So if you say you want to be passionate, you want to be loving, you want to be intelligent, you want to be in your flow state, you want to be all these things, Start putting that into your body before you go out, and put some prayer work into that, and just ground yourself and start talking to yourself. I know this is where the craziness comes in. We're all crazy because this works. If you start telling yourself what you want out of this night, then that will happen when you're out there. You know what I mean? It's like
Intention.
the intention there. If you start putting the intentions into yourself on them layers and start talking to yourself, get in a room, say, look, this is what I want. I'm going to be passionate. I'm going to be connected. I'm going to be my authentic self. I'm going to have all these connections. I'm going to flow. I'm going to be grounded. I'm going to be balanced. If you start putting these things in, you'll find the more you say it to yourself, the more it'll happen. And that's a good little technique what you can do. Because then obviously, and bring some protection. You bring some directions in, bring anything you want in. What's going to put your inner world comfortable in your outer world. So all you're doing is bringing your inner world in a safe place. You're bringing yourself into your own little safe space when you go out there. And you'll find the more work you put into that, the easier it is. So that's a little trick.
Great words.
I want to add something. You also got to see your inner saboteur as a saboteur. You don't see this need to talk to people as the saboteur. You just feel it as something that you don't have impulse control over. I need to talk now. And it overrides the energy of the moment of what they're trying. But you have to be able to recognize in the moment that lack of impulse control to stay in the moment, and the voice having to interact with people is an internal manipulation of programs. It's trying to change the state of energy inside you. And I asked before, why do you stay in this high philosophical state? I bet you're in it far more than you even realize. I bet your resting state is high philosophy in the mind. And that is not a real resting state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
David, you're a high thinker.
I've been fatigued on a lot of time, yeah.
Go ahead, Andrew.
I said, you're a high thinker. What do you do to rest your mind? You've learned a variety of deep, skills that take you from, transcendental meditation, but that's all stuff you earned at an early age and are integrated in you. What can help him get out of that high philosophy state?
I had to discover the silly side of the Force. And I had to discover it very early, right? So I had fuses and so on, like everybody knows about patches. So let's forget about that, right? Everybody knows about patches, right?
Not everyone knows, David. Explain.
Like I have a teddy, okay? I do. I'm not going to hide my love. I was shot at the top of the mountain, right? My point is, to discover
patches.
Yeah, I call him patches.
Okay.
Anyway, my point is, you have to discover the silly side of the Force to diffuse that inner philosopher. Because I can tell you, when I look at patches, it disconnects a whole bunch of stuff in my head, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I suppose from our understanding of mental health, that would be crazy. But the fact of the matter is that it works very, very well for me. I had to discover that there is joy in silliness. And you want to know when the crux came for me? When I realized, like when I came out of the TM Center and I started interacting with people, and you could, and I started to see all their stuff, right? Right. We got the hippie chick at the bottom there. We got the we got the hippie chick with the denim, and we got Bob, and we got Dale, and we got Amy, and so on. And at a certain point in time, you have to let go of all this stick up your ass stuff and not being silly with yourself, okay? And silly with other people. And then you just decide at some point in time, life is too short for me to be cerebrally focused all the time, because I'm literally sucking the joy out of life when I'm in high analytical mode, okay? And there is a marriage that can happen where both things can be present. You could be highly analytical and silly at the same time. That's a balance that you have to get. right? And I say the word silly, but that's not what I really want to say. It's like it's like an expression of joy within yourself. Like, chill out, smoke the ethereal blunt, and then over to the real side, right? And the imaginary blunt.
That does not look natural to you.
You drop the rest of it out, right? And you walk up to the group of people and say, "Hi, you want some of this?" Right? And then it's fine. And then all of a sudden, everybody's like, "Okay, you're weird, but we like you." And that's it. And then you move past that point, right? So you have to be a little bit silly with yourself. You have to actually put the things into your mind, like that imaginary blunt that you walk into the club with.
The
Right.
universal blunt.
Yeah.
That is a conversational piece right there, right? And then everybody understands, and you disarm everybody, and you disarm yourself with your own silliness inside. Make sense?
Do you go into different roles? Do you watch comedy, or do you watch funny movies, or do you watch something out of the ordinary?
Yeah, I like
You do.
I like humor that takes the piss out of the whole spiritual scene and all that.
You're
Yeah.
in the right place.
You're in the right place.
You're in the right place. The spiritual spiff. Let us pass the spiritual spiff around. Right?
Yeah.
Right? You guys, listen, you just have to disconnect that high philosophical stuff. You got to get silly with yourself, because you're taking joy out of life. We can laugh with people, and laughter is a great connector with people.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to let go. You got to let go.
There is a place for that, philosophical, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Andy, for
There
what
is.
you
His
did-
internal programs are just trying to make it always now.
Yeah, it is. It's like a vicious spiral. He has thoughts, and then he has feelings, and then he has behaviors, and then that just spirals down. That's kind of what I saw.
But do you see that as a protective thing because I'm scared
Yeah.
of the social
Yeah.
setting?
It is protective, and your best. It's a way you sharpen and hone your senses. It's like a martial artist constantly in training. Even they take time off. You're overtraining the brain with the high philosophical state all the time.
How do you recommend I relax that then, Andrew? Or
They've already told you, comedy, self-tickling. You got to figure a way to break the serious stick inside you that has developed into a massive stump. It's not a stick anymore, it's a stump.
Go bowling.
So just cultivate some inner silliness and freedom and work on that, and see the analytical
challenge yourself to find a stand-up mic area. Stand-up mics are in clubs all the time, and go and do 5 minutes of whatever, poetry, comedy. I'm just going to stand up here and be an asshole and swear at people. Okay.
How about an amusement park? Is there an amusement park around you? An amusement park. I don't know why.
Close, but I used to really like rides. Yeah.
Yeah, try that
Yeah.
again. That's like kid-like.
Yeah, something childlike.
Something like that. Get some cotton candy, and get some.
I will say the dreaded sports word to you.
Oh yeah.
What do you mean?
Can you share goal when they score a goal and feel the excitement flow through you?
No, he can't. Manchester United.
Not with this team, no.
See, choose another team. Okay, choose another team, and you don't have to be a fan of the sport. You just have to be an internal observer. Can I tap into the energy and let it actually mean something to me in the moment? Okay,
Thanks.
and that's a skill set that can apply to many different subject matter.
Okay.
And can I tell you something? Your mental health depends on this. That high philosophical state will break you eventually, and it will take you away from people. And you don't want to do that, right? Because, we got the spiritual blunt moving around, right? So get into that flow, man.
Okay. On a regular basis, go to a joke website and try to find something that makes you laugh, even if it's a ha ha ha. Okay? And then put them in your cell phone. So you actually have to go through the mental memorization of the typing and, start randomly practicing how to open a conversation up with a joke.
Or use
Go on
one
to
of the ringtones as a laughter.
Oh my
Have
God!
your ringtone as a laughter thing to trigger you into laughing, because it's going to make you smile or something. I've got like a hunting horn on my messages, and it just makes me smile when I get a message. Something
read
that
my mind.
just
Or
trigger
anytime you plug into a van, you hear the spiritual flute playing in the background.
Oh God! I can't get
Yes,
rid of
doesn't
that
make me
one.
smile, Andrew. I'm like, God damn
Yes.
it, that's so loud.
Something that triggers you into spontaneous laughter if you can get it.
Yeah,
Changing
Which is
your
such a good word, spontaneous laughter. Hear those words, spontaneous laughter.
Type
think
in
I
on
fear-
YouTube.
I think I fear
Type in
that
on YouTube something called Kill Tony. So Kill Tony has basically brought out an episode where a guy pretends he's
the
Donald
Donald
Trump,
Trump
a guy
thing
pretends
recently.
he's Biden.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? And it's got like 11. Yeah, that's the funniest shit I've ever seen in a long time. Rewatch it and laugh your tits off.
Yeah.
You know I'm Googling that right now, right?
Honestly, it is
No.
one of the funniest comedy programs I've ever seen. And the latest one is, I think it's got almost 15 million views. It's and the guy who plays Donald Trump is so perfectly on who he is. The guy who plays Biden's spot on as well. Laura, what did you think when you saw it?
Yeah, it was brilliant. Yeah,
Yeah.
loved it. I was just going to say, Andy, and now I forgot because I was thinking about something else. Hold on. When you get into this internal philosophical conversation that you have with yourself, when there's a gap in it, ask Andrew's famous question, how is this working for me?
Mm.
Okay, it's a really good question to pose yourself. It's like, how is this working for me?
Followed up by a now what?
No, what? I was just.
Yeah, now what? Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it helps sometimes to just infill with that. And it makes you stop that process, that program of the continual thought loops, mental thought loops that you're in the whole time to get
Can
out
I
of
bring
them.
up one
Like,
thing
is it
related to
working
this,
for me?
the free child thing?
Mm-hmm.
Say that again.
I'd like to ask for your take on this, which is related to this. It's so it's about my eyesight and my glasses, and I feel like wearing glasses now really almost like makes me feel like I can't like let that out anymore. So I didn't wear glasses until around age 15, and then astigmatism began. And then in 2012, I had laser eye surgery. It corrected it, and then I embarked on like 5 years or so of like being an English teacher. I felt so like free and just everything you're saying. And then during like a marriage that got very stressful and COVID came and everything, like I ended up going back to the optician, and the astigmatism had come back by 50%, and it had only come back within like the 2 or 3 years where the relationship was crumbling and I was having to like face a lot that I wasn't aware of. And then as soon as I had to wear glasses again, I just felt like 50 years older, and like it's like blocking me off from it. And I've wanted to know can you heal astigmatism, or what's causing that? Are you able to get any read on what's causing astigmatism, or whether it's possible to heal it, or any thoughts on the whole wearing glasses thing? And
At what point did you choose to go bald too?
it was the same period. So I was with my wife, got married 2015, and then I'd say from around 2018 and 19, those 2 years is basically when my hair thinned more on top and the astigmatism came back. So
You have
You don't see a correlation?
through. He has a lot of past life stuff breaking through, isn't it?
say again, Andrew.
David said you have a lot of past life stuff coming through. So
Yeah,
hair loss and eye loss after the stigmatism is all tied together. You want to try growing your hair out, and
it's too thin on
with your
top.
huh?
It's too thin on top. I look like an old man.
So what? You're already an old man, aren't you? You're a bald old man now. You have to try something different. Is your stigmatism to the point you can't use contacts?
Contacts just feel uncomfortable in my eyes. I've never got on with them.
Wah, 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 wah,
Oh,
wah,
hey,
wah.
Well,
I'm
it's
gonna
that.
beat myself up with old man glasses
No, it's
versus
not just
try
that.
wearing contacts.
It's not just that. It's the stigmatism literally causes like a lot of ache to the point where I get headaches and get really tired. So it's like I can't risk that happening. And if I wear the contacts, they're not as stable as the glasses, and I end up getting the headaches and the tiredness again.
When's the last time you actually tried contacts?
Last year, December, I did a lifeguarding course, which meant I had to wear them in the water. And
how long did you use them for?
like an hour at a time. But they also say you shouldn't wear contacts, right? Because they erode the eye, and they're not like a
No,
no. I've
This
been
is
wearing
light
them.
worker garbage.
Been wearing them a long time.
Okay. You have some predetermined concepts about health and wellness that are preventing you from using alternatives that can change your perception and point of view. If you were to go back and listen to what you actually said to us about the journey of losing your eyesight after you had that laser eye surgery, and immediately you didn't put together that hair and eyes are directly correlated to the way that you perceive that you look, and that's all ancestral issues coming through. You should really let some of your hair grow out and try to attempt to actually use contacts and stop the internal programs from saying it's going to rip your eyes up, tear it up, and learn to get used to them like every other contract user. The millions and millions of people who have thrown their glasses away never to have to put glasses on again.
There is another level of this. He is trying to be the monk.
Yes, the high philosophical monk.
I don't want to be bald. I don't.
Why?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that the ego Andy is trying to be the monk. They're simply pointing out that the monk is taking over you, slowly and surely, right? From the hair,
That's why you're having social issues.
from the head to the high philosophical hold. That is a trait that certain people have, and it's also neutralizing your ability to interact. And I'm going to put it out there. It's neutralizing some of your ability to interact with the opposite sex because the flow that they're looking for is not present, right? And the flow is not present because the flow is flowing around inside your head, right? And it's not expression. So, like, if you want to talk about it from an energetic perspective, the interaction between you and other people is like a circuit of energy that you create with other people. Sometimes that circuit is negative and sometimes that's positive. When Amy approached you in the club, as an example, there was I'm going to use the technical term, a parabola of energy that went out to you. Okay? The parabola of energy that went out to you required a response back, a response at the same frequency. But you didn't give the same frequency, you gave a truncated form of the frequency back to her. You guys are following me or not really?
Yeah.
You gave a truncated form of the frequency. So Laura is speaking to you and is inviting you places and stuff like that. But you're answering her in one word thing, and the frequency that is coming back to her, it's a chopped up frequency that is a very strained frequency. So what is happening? The people who respond like that, and I have met people who respond like that because, as I said to you, I grew up in a TM center, but I also went on a number of yoga retreats. I once met somebody. You know what a giant is? Do you know what that is? It's a form of Buddhist monk. They reduce their karma by lowering their interaction with other people. So as an example, they walk with their heads down to avoid stepping on ants. Yes, they're all bald. Never mind about that, right? And so I remember being in the yoga center, and when you go to the Omega Center, they feed you chana, right? Like After a week, you have no emotions, none. Okay? Because the food has no seasoning, no spice. It kills the emotions inside of you. You want to get angry about it, but you can't. So, right? So, and I met a giant who had a restricted diet for his entire life, right? He had a restricted diet. He was vegan, the far extreme of vegan, right? And I remember having a conversation with him where he gave me that kind of energy. It was a stable, measured energy. But I understood that he's trying to avoid karma with me by truncating the expression. He's also trying to avoid like engaging too much with me. And this is the kind of vibration that you're giving out. So I'm telling you that the monk is trying to get, is taking you over there, right? Right? It's not that he did not like me or he doesn't like anybody, whatever else, but the energy that he's putting out and so on. And just so that we're clear, that monk didn't choose to go bald either. Okay? Okay?
I get it.
He adopted a kind of persona inside of himself. His mind is always in the meditative state, right? And so that happened. The person who you want to be is getting shut out by the monk that is trying to take control of you. And you have to decide at some point in time, yeah, enough of this. I'm just going to be silly and dance on the tables in the club that you don't want to go to because there's so many people, right? But anyway, right? I'm just going to do that. At some point in time, you got to take that out of your energy field, because you're transmitting energy in a truncated and measured way. And when people feel that, they associate it with one of three things. Okay? Mm-hmm. He doesn't trust me. Mm-hmm. And then they have to ask, why doesn't he trust me? And if you don't trust them, they ain't going to trust you. That's number one. Number two, is this guy some kind of spy or something? Like is he going to murder me after after I do this? So they're going to think that kind of way. And the third thing is, he is very reserved. And this is the compassionate person who's thinking this, right? It's very reserved, which means that somebody probably hurt him somewhere along the line. Oh no, damaged goods. That's what they're thinking. That's exactly what they're thinking when they get that energy. So for a normal person, they're not going to read into energy and do all that frequency stuff that I just did. But I'm telling you what is going to register for them. And you got to decide whether you want to affect people that way or you don't.
Yeah, thank you for the feedback.
Yeah.
So just,
but like on a final note, can I mean, just on a physical perspective, healing level, can the stigmatism be reversed?
Yeah, but you got to make that decision. You got to make that decision. You got to make that decision. And one of the ways you got to make that decision, sorry, Rob, right? One of the ways you got to make that decision is do little things that let people know that I'm okay, you're okay, we're okay, right? Like, did you notice that Laura had a cool denim outfit at all? Like, did you even notice that? Because I did.
And also, Andy, don't forget the person who actually called in. Who was that person that just pressed the button? You didn't know what? You're like in the room and you're like, well, what did I just do?
How the fuck I got here?
Yeah, that's the person. That's the person. Talked with that aspect of yourself of why did I even click that link? Because it wasn't you, Andy. Now, my feeling.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I think we should just all show up at Andy's door.
I know.
Yes.
I think.
Hi. We're taking you out today. All right?
Now, I'll tell you where we're going to take you, Andy, where we're going to take you.
You're going to
start growing your hair, and if you don't like the look of your hair, wear a hat. So you're going to go and get a Vera Black musician's hat. They're the coolest hats out there. Look up Vera Black hats, right? All the cool musicians wear them. Get one of those.
There's a reason all the bald people from the 1700s, 1800s wore hats.
Yes.
It made them look cool.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So
Literally,
you're-
let your hair grow out. Stop
Yes.
shaving it. Let yourself grow a little bit of goatee, beard, the whole 9 yards. And I'm
Yeah.
telling you, as you begin to get over the way you think you look to the way you actually look, you will start to see an improvement of your eyesight and truly challenge yourself to go through the challenge of getting used to wearing contacts.
Mhm.
And stop buying into the light worker bullshit. Contacts will ruin you. And the
No, it's not.
preconceived
It's, so,
notions.
Andrew, it's not light work bullshit. These are like more than one person who wear them and have worn them for years, and they told me that their optician told them they're going to have to stop using them so much because it's actually damaging their eyes. And I heard that
Because
from
they
more than
don't
one.
have the good contacts. They buy the cheap
Yeah.
contacts and overuse their contacts. Amy, you're a contact
Yeah.
user.
I have
Explain to
daily.
him the
Yeah.
rules.
Okay, so I did use oh my God, I remember using the plastic ones back in the day. You put them in your eye. Anyways, they have great ones now with a lot of there are a lot of fluid in them now. They're very comfortable. And I also have astigmatism too. And they have toric lenses for astigmatism. They have that now. And I wear daily wears, so I just throw them out. I don't reuse them. I'm kind of like, no, I'm not going to reuse my contacts. So you can get daily wears. Yeah.
And then that stuff you're talking about won't happen because the people you're talking to, they're not giving you the piece of information, what Amy was saying. They keep reusing the contacts over and over again because they're cheap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, noted. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Andrew, you think if I just put on a hat, things will change for me?
Well, you'd have to start eating meat if you put a hat on, David.
Nah.
Daniel Boone.
better, David. We'll just start with cheese.
Now I'm going to get a cowboy hat and call it a day.
Yes.
And if you get a cowboy hat, I'm buying you overalls.
Put it on and come onto the show
We're
like
going to
this.
get you a 20-gallon hat and overalls, David. And
Yeah,
got
you're not
lunch
getting
on a-
dungarees, are you, David? Tell me you're not getting dungarees.
Yep, we're getting him overalls.
And
David, why aren't you in the bath, David? What happened to all that?
Was that?
Show
Was
me the
that?
bathtub.
Yeah,
Oh,
what happened?
yeah, I remember that show. That was funny as hell. That was funny as hell.
I found that old
Making
video.
Andy laugh, which is actually great, making you laugh. Andy, thank you for having the courage to come on and hearing what we say. And I hope some of it's helped. And
Yeah, I will watch this back.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for the feedback. I will take it to heart. Thank you.
All right.
Brilliant. And remember, like, you can do revocations for stuff as well, or bring the universe in your daily prayers and get some co-creation going to get you into that nice sort of flow, that chilled flow where you're a bit more in your body and in your heart space. So we really,
tickle
really
yourself.
appreciate you coming on. Yeah, tickle yourself.
Yep.
We really appreciate you coming on. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Andy.
Appreciate
Take
you.
care.
All the best.
Andy.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Dale, there's somebody in the chat. I definitely need this. LOL. I have such a hard time lightening TF up. Mostly in real life situations. I need to go to a dance party somewhere. Amanda, come in. Let's talk.
Come on, Amanda. We know who you are.
Yes, we do.
We
Yes.
know
We
Amanda.
do.
Before.
Many moons ago, you were on the show doing a show.
Yes,
Yes.
a long time ago. Yes.
She did the couple show
Yes.
with Trent.
Is there
Yeah.
anybody out? Have you got
Yes,
anybody
we've
in
got-
the
Yeah, we
waiting
do.
room?
So we've got Dawn in the waiting room. And just before Dawn comes in, can I just say, if you're listening on Rumble, YouTube, or wherever you're listening from, please drop a subscribe, a like, and a comment. If you're listening to the future, let us know how the show went for you, any questions. We really do appreciate the feedback. So drop a subscribe and like. Thank you.
And David
we'll
has
bring
something
Dawn
to
on.
Yes, David has something
Yeah, sorry,
to say.
David. Before we bring Dawn on, what news have you got?
Yeah, so I'm doing DNA sequencing and testing for people who want to find out what their predispositions are. Let me tell you what that is. This is going to be international, so for those of you who want to find out what your predispositions are in terms of diet, fitness, health, and mental health as well, that is included in that, we can send you guys a DNA test kit. Then it'll come back to us. Amy is going to be the representative in the US, so she's going to tell you how to get a hold of her. And so what is going to happen is that we send you the kits, you take a cheek swab, you send it back to us, and what we're going to do is send it to a lab. And that lab is going to sequence your DNA and let you know exactly what you are coming in with and what is good for you. And why would you do this is the next question. You would do this because you want to find out and not guess what's good for you and what's not good for you in terms of diet, in terms of how you exercise, in terms of the things that will affect you, the toxins that will affect you. Very often people walk around life just guessing, right? You need to know what's toxic for you and what's not toxic for you. And that's why we have partnered with a lab, a CLIA certified lab, to be able to sequence your DNA. I also do hair tissue mineral analysis, which will let you know what you are deficient in. And the reason why I would do that is because I'm vegan. I did it for myself, really, but it is actually a service that I offer to people and so on. A lot of people are walking around with deficiencies that will eventually turn into illnesses. Do not stop guessing about what's good for you and what you have and what you don't have. And stop taking supplements and vitamins blindly. Mm-hmm. Be very targeted about your health. And we would like you all to stay around a little bit longer. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's it.
David,
how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, that's it. Can you put in the chat how people can get a hold of you? Or if you want to send it over, anyone can do it.
Sure. There you go. It's info at unifiedhealthsystems.com. And guys, yeah, we will give you a complete profile of every kind of food source that is either going to go well with your DNA. And you just do this once in your lifetime. You don't do it over a period of time because your DNA doesn't change.
So, David, this is the full mineral analysis too?
Yeah. So we're doing hair tissue mineral analysis. We're doing DNA. That is a very long report, but people just do it once. Your DNA doesn't change, but it will tell you exactly what you are eating and what you need to probably stay away from before you turn on genetic markers in yourself. A lot of people turn on genetic markers and end up with cancer and so on. It's quite innocent. You don't know, right? You don't think, you don't know. You just figure that I'm just going through life. But something that you do somewhere along the line is going to turn on something in your system, but it helps to know beforehand what will turn it on, right? Before you decide that you're going to do something inventive with yourself, and it works out very badly for your body and your long-term health plan. Yes. That is why you do DNA sequencing and analysis, because you know what's going to come down the pipeline for you. It also tells you, of course, like what your parents gave you, the good, the bad, and the ugly, you know. That's always good to know.
Yeah.
All right. So that's always good to know. So, guys, contact me at info@unifiedhealthsystems.com. And let's get into the next caller.
Let's do this. So we have Dawn in the back room, and this is going to be our last caller this evening. We get Dawn in.
Dawn.
Hi, everybody. Hi.
Dawn, it's been like ages since I've seen you.
It sure has.
Just last week.
It was. Just a quick thing. During COVID, I went into hermit mode. I was feeling very anxious about being with people because I was really scared about getting COVID. And it lasted 3 years because my immune system was compromised. I had bad asthma and I was really concerned. And then I got COVID back in December. And I thought, this is nothing. Like, yeah, it's not serious, not for me anyway. And so it was like, what was I holding myself back for? So this year I have decided to chase joy. and I've joined line dancing. I'm going out with a lot of people, and I just did a mind shift, and it's amazing how much that mind shift has made so much joy and lightness in my current life, that I just wanted to share it. If there's anybody in the hermit stage, if you can make that mind shift and seek joy in all locations and find fun, everything just makes a more balanced life.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if anyone else has been experiencing that, but that's something I have found.
I was invited to go line dancing.
Good.
I'm going to be the next caller. You know what? I was invited to go line dancing. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, guys. I couldn't do it. I guess I wasn't brave enough to do it. But yeah, you know where I am, Dawn. And so.
Well, you're out in the prairies. You should be line dancing.
Yes.
You could, David. You can bring Patches as well as your partner.
Yeah.
Right. It's not really a partner thing. It's line dancing. I guess I don't have the boots for it yet.
I do it in sneakers. You don't need boots.
You don't need the outfit.
Yeah.
Dawn, you have video?
No, I don't do video. But if you want something that's really uplifting, there's one called Jerusalem. It came out of COVID. It's from South Africa. It's about being free, but there's a beat to it. It's very gospel-like, and there's a beat to it. It is so uplifting, and it's a reel that goes in my mind all the time, and I just cannot let it go, and it just keeps me going. So if you want something, it's called Jerusalem.
With a J?
It's actually a trending thing on YouTube right now.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's dancing to that.
Yeah, it's really fun, and you don't have to be overly coordinated, because I'm not, and you just have fun, and it truly brings joy into your whole being.
Yeah. So what helped you get to line dancing from hermit? You went like all the way to line dancing. Was it something you saw? Was it like, and also, did you go with friends or by yourself?
By myself.
Ah.
I started off with myself, and then I signed up, and then I thought, well, my girlfriend was kind of a hermit too. I said, come on with me and we'll do it together. She dropped out, but I continued, and then I've continued ever since. So yeah, no, it's just fun, and why not? And what took me there was I had to force myself, because it's so easy to be a hermit and stay home. And it's like, no, this is a choice. I have to make that choice to move forward and to switch my gears and to get myself out there. And the more I'm out there, then I seek more of it. And so it's kind of a feeding of the wheel. And now I have a really good balance. There's days where I just want to read and do nothing, or just meditate or do Reiki or whatever it is. And then there's other days when I want to be social and have friends over or go out to parties. So I found a really good balance. But it was because I was in a fear mode for 3 years. And then once I faced that fear by actually having it, then I was free.
Oh,
that's fabulous, Dawn. Brilliant. You flipped those frequencies.
I did.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah,
and once you're in that nice flow, you don't want to be out of it, do you?
No, it's so fun. It's so freeing.
Yes.
And it's the other thing I found funny, based on watching you guys and, the late worker Kool-Aid, I used to go to parties and say, I'm a psychic and a medium and all that stuff. And, you get that shock value and see people retreat and you see people engaged and everything else. Well, I've been to a few parties where I have not even told them what I did. I just said I'm retired. And it's very freeing. And then I don't get the questions. And it's like, I don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to put in a plug in for Dawn here. Dawn is a real life psychic and medium.
Yeah.
She is very good at what she does. So I'm going to put in that plug for Dawn first of all. The next thing I'm going to say is that you went to a party and you didn't announce you were a psychic. That must have been fun. Let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask you, I'm going to get into this, right?
Absolutely.
So you're at a table with a bunch of people, right?
Yeah.
You're a psychic, but you don't tell them, right?
Correct.
But you're getting information, a lot of it from them. I'm guessing that you can't stop that torrent of information, correct?
Actually, no, I do. I have learned to turn it off.
How? Share with the rest of the world now, please.
No, it's a way of protecting myself because I get overwhelmed, and being an empath as well, I was getting a lot of stuff. So now I realize unless you engage and say, I want some information, I've actually shut that valve off. As soon as you say, oh, tell me more, then the valve goes back on and I'm in. But it's kind of like a dial. I've developed it over the years, and it's just my way of protecting myself so that I can go out in the world and be with people. And it literally is respecting myself to say, I don't want to be turned on right now for this. I want to be in my own body and doing my own thing. So it's
Bravo.
like the radio dial.
Mhm.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So it's about respecting yourself.
Okay, so Don,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask the hard questions, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
So Don, you're at a bar.
Yeah.
Some dubious character walks up to you. It might be
Yeah.
Dale, it might be Rob, you never know. Right?
Gotta say.
And they go like, hi, can I buy you a drink? But remember, you have the valve turned off, right?
Yep.
Hi, can I buy you a drink? But then the guy is probably interested in you, right? It might be Amy as well. She might buy you a soda, right?
Amy's swinging.
Amy's swinging.
The guy is probably interested in you. But remember, you're in your body, you've turned it off.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What happens next?
What happens next? I actually engage with people and talk and find out what they're about, but I'm not trying to read them. I'm just listening. And I'm not thinking, I'm not pre-thinking about what I'm going to say to them or analyzing their thoughts. I'm truly being present with them at that time.
Okay, let me adjust this. You're at a bar, right, Dawn?
Yeah, I don't drink, but yeah.
Right?
A soda.
Right. This imaginary bar in the sky.
Water. Yep, got it.
That sells soda and whatever. Marilyn Manson comes up to you. And I don't mean Marilyn Manson from the 80s. I mean 10 years ago, Marilyn Manson comes up to you. He says, hi. Right? Can I buy you?
But
Do you keep it? Do you keep your intuitive sense turned off, or do you turn it back on?
If my body, my aura feels, this is, I know woo-woo, but if there's a sense of danger, it turns on immediately for me. It does not stay off. If there's a sense of danger, the guides will come in right away and say, watch out.
So you have a spidey sense, which makes it involuntary, correct?
Correct. There is a spiny sense, but I'm not, if I'm looking at you and talking, I'm not trying to analyze you. I'm not trying to get into your thoughts. I'm not trying to analyze your body to see if you've got some healing issues or something like that. I'm not doing that. I'm really, truly being engaging. But my spiny senses definitely are on if I'm in immediate danger.
Interesting. So the woman at the bar with Marilyn Manson sauntering up to you, right? Your spidey senses might turn on.
The spiny senses may turn on if my well-being is being threatened. Yes.
Yes. So let's just okay. So I'm doing the thing.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
I'm actually trying to. So you're right.
And then you'll have to counter-analyze David.
Yes. Yes, please.
So you're at the bar. Yeah, everybody. And not every serial killer looks like Marilyn Manson, right? So let's say a dubious character rolls up to you at the bar, right? With a blank expression on his face, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Says, can I buy you a drink? And you say yes. And then the individual, you notice that he may have there's a hard instrument in his coat, right? It's winter, it's in Toronto, there's a hard instrument. It looks like a knife, but you're not sure.
Right.
But he looks like he just came from church.
My spinies would say, get out of here and get out of here quickly.
Okay.
It would be thanks very much, but I need to get out of here. See you later.
So there's an element of the psychic sense which is involuntary, correct?
There is an element of personal safety that does kick in.
Yeah. That's what I was wondering about.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. But it's not about trying to be projecting outwards. It's more about protecting myself. But
Makes
in terms of like the psychic ability, like I'd go to restaurants and I would be picking up their grandmothers, and I'd be picking up that they had a big issue that was coming up, or they were going to have an exam, or, you know, lots of different things. And I've had to dial that thing right back so that I can get on. However, when I do find, when I listen to you guys sometimes later at night, your energy is so powerful, I have a hard time coming down from that energy. And I do breathing exercises, I get grounded, you know, I do some just exercising just to get physically, because I am so high from your energy that it's sometimes very hard for me to get back into my body. I know.
Universal pipe.
That's because we're spiritual crack cocaine.
There you go. David, just one question about the DNA, because I've done 23andMe and I've just done Ancestry.ca, and I'm looking at my genomes. I've looked at my personal traits. What is it that you're offering that's different from that?
Yes. Well, 23andMe and Ancestry tells you about where you came from more often than not. This is not about where you came from. That's not what I'm offering. I'm offering you a health profile of everything broken down into diet, fitness, and health. I'll explain a little bit more. So from the dietary perspective, there are some people whose genetics come from a certain part of the world, as an example, which something like, I don't know, McDonald's fries would absolutely begin to kill, okay? As soon as the first time you eat it. But they don't know that. So they move to the US and they're like, let's say you come from sub-Saharan Africa. McDonald's fries will be toxic to you.
Right.
It absolutely will, because of the diet that was there and your parents gave you these genetics. You are going to go and you're going to eat the McDonald's. It's not going to affect you the first time. You might just send you to the bathroom, right? But that's your body rejecting this thing. Now, the people don't know how DNA works, right? DNA works is a learning process, okay? So you are the result of everything that your ancestors passed down to you, including preferences and the genomic profile types. And so, as an example, there are certain kinds of exercise forms that certain people should not be doing. Like people would tell you, for an example, like I tried long distance running, almost died. There's a reason why. You're not built for that. You literally are not built for that, and your genetics will not take it, because the exchange of proteins in your system will not support long distance running, but they will support resistance training, as an example. People need to know whether they have a genetic marker for Alzheimer's. A lot of people are walking around with that ticking time bomb inside their system, not realizing that if you had it from an early age and you avoided certain foods, as an example, you could absolutely delay that indefinitely. But you don't know. So you eat the foods, you turn it on, and you get Alzheimer's very early. These are the kinds of things that actually happen to people. Now, the reason why this is not mainstream, I have no idea why it isn't, because we're living in 2024, and sometimes you got to use technology for good ends, right? And one of the good ends is to take the guesswork out of people being able to make informed decisions for their health. Even in terms of drugs, there are some drugs that will not go well with certain kinds of the population. Your doctor should not be, as an example, experimenting with you to see which drugs work and which drugs don't work. Right. Just do a DNA profile and let them know. This is what I am offering. I'm not offering where you came from, right? Where you came from is already predetermined. So me telling you that you're Irish or whatever the hell it is, it's what does that mean? What does that mean to you in your life right now?
Well, the 23andMe also has a health component to it, and it talks about certain genomes.
So so what we do is we take over 158 different SNPs, what we call SNPs, and we test them based on prevailing environment, right?
Yeah.
But we see what turns whatever on, and that is done in a lab. It's a very detailed sequencing that tests your SNPs for the certain kinds of toxins and so on, right? Things that are normal for certain people would be toxic to you, absolutely.
Yeah,
Right?
no, I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you. No, I just needed that clarification because I've just done both of them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, Dawn, you should have done, you know.
I didn't know you offered it.
I'm just across the pond from you.
Uh,
Right. I would like to ask a broad question. For those of you who are on the panel, is your intuitive sense, does it turn on at certain points in time?
Well, yeah. So there was something I was gonna say. Like, it happens to me in restaurants or whenever I'm out. You know, you look at someone and they look at you, and you know straight away not to make any form of contact with them at all. And all I do now is I've learned before I couldn't switch off. I turn over, turn around, I completely detach from their reality, and yeah, I'm able to do that now. Before I couldn't. So when you're looking around, you see a guy who's heavily haunted, or there's just loads of shit going on within him, and you look at him, and you go, "There's that sense you're like, holy fuck, like he's a fucked, not a nice person." And it's like how you can actually learn to turn it off so you're not engaging with him. But a lot of, obviously, like the first caller, a lot of people have problems with being out of the body. So as soon as they're out of the body, they're feeding off them, or they're touching their senses basically, and they're absorbing the shit. Then the karma starts being exchanged, where they start attacking you, or they start sending projections into you because you're triggered. So it's interesting, Dawn, what you're saying, because it's like going out, and it's like a school, isn't it, or training camp? When you're out, you're like learning different things until the point where you go out. You can have a meal without being aware, or out in the restaurant absorbing all that negative shit of all the people pissed off that their orders were wrong or something. And it takes time, discipline, keep doing it. And for those listening out there, I found it so hard. I went through my struggles. Like, I went through hard shit. It hurt. Like, some parts of it hurt, but you have to go through that pain at times to come out the other end. You have to keep trying and trying and trying until it becomes easier. It's not going to be easy for you empaths out there. It's going to be difficult, but you've got to keep going and going and going until it gets easier and easier. And it will.
You know, the reason why I asked that question. Sorry, Rob, you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Just like it's experimenting on all the time, and you've got to experiment with like your visuals and like obviously people's energies and just like you tune into what's good for you, and it's just having your backpack of things what help you just to protect you. And like as you say, you're going to see haunted people. The more aware you are about things, the more you're going to see in people. So straight away, red flags there. It's you have your own ways of dealing with it, don't you? Like Dale's just said. And it's like experimenting with different things that work for you in it, and that's the key. And but that just takes time, and it's just practice and putting that in a working, and just like being comfortable knowing that person ain't going to project at you because you can't no more because he's just not there to do. And you see that strong.
Something can I just add to it as well is just a simple bloody thing of exercising, walking, sports, doing some weight training. Something so simple as that for those people who suffer with not able to go out there is going to help you greatly, because you're going to release natural dopamine. You're going to start being in the body. You're going to have happiness released in you. It's like a drug. It's like an antidepressant. So for those of you hermits out there, get to the gym or start some exercise regime, because that greatly helped me. Non-spiritual shit, it works as well as spiritual shit.
Or just dance at your home. Just put some good music on and just do a self dance.
That's right. I like that.
I could line dance in my home. There's a reason why I asked you guys that, and I asked you a bunch of questions, Don. And that is when you are out and stuff like that, for all of you spiritual people, I don't know if you realize this, but people home in on your signal real quick. Yeah, so even though you don't announce it, like in Laura's case, it's easy, right? Like, there's a hippie chick with us.
Coming in with a denim jacket on, everyone turn it over.
Right? There's something about Mary, there's something about Laura. And you're gonna ask a question, and it's gonna eventually whatever. So in a situation where people are actively detecting, all of us have been in this thing very, very long. Okay. It leaves marks depending on your practices. It absolutely does.
Absolutely.
Right. And when you go out in a social situation, people see it. Whether you want them to or not, all right? Because it's and so on. And then how do you deal with that interaction after they see it? Because it becomes awkward after a while, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'll give you my personal experience because I'm only asking because I want advice, right? So I'm trying to hide my problems, right? Right, basket. Let's say you're in a gym. You're in a gym situation, right? And the thing about a gym situation is active and people are lifting weights and so on. And because of the pain and so on, they're in the body, but they're more expressive. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So the amplification of the stuff is high. It's like what in normal society would be something like a little wave becomes big, right? Like kind of like bowl you over kind of big. And then you're like, let me just put my headphones in my ear. Let's turn that volume, crank that volume up to full and concentrate on what I'm doing. But it doesn't stop your psychic sense from involuntarily turning it on, right? So you develop techniques such as don't look. Don't look at all. The ground is beautiful this time of year, right? The ground is beautiful this time. Oh, look, that ceiling, I never noticed that it was leaking at that point, right? My point is, so you devise these techniques, they say, don't look. But the energy is still there, right? It's there, right? And now they have picked up that you're not looking and they're trying to figure out why. What is he seeing that we're not seeing? Do you understand? The fact that y'all are nodding means that all of you have been through it. All of you. Tell me how do you handle that?
Well, in some ways, the algorithm is only created because you've taken your attention to it, isn't it? So that it only actually exists. Like this is quantum theory stuff, isn't it? It only actually exists because you've made it matter. You've made it into matter. So it's not actually letting it in your field to make it so it matters to you, so that it becomes matter. So when you get yourself in the zone, like Dawn obviously is, she's in that dopamine release, that all that joy, what we might call divine flow, it really is like pretty relevant to you, whether the guy's flexing his muscles, you know, or not, and making moans and groans. Because when you get to that place, you can be really happy for that guy, you know, well, he's obviously working. Maybe it's doing him good, but it's like self-focus, isn't it? It's focusing on yourself and what you're doing. But that isn't always an easy place to be, you know, and Dawn's told us how much she's worked to get into that space. So for other empaths, it's building a bit like Bob was saying and Dale was saying, you know, it's building up little techniques for yourself where you can maybe blast your own energy field with your light or whatever everybody has their own unique practices. I call in the sun, grandfather sun. I light up my field and I just, you know, block everything else that's out there. I just have a technique where I do it. Yes, David.
So you're on the cable machine in the gym, right? You're doing your bicep curls.
Yes.
I'm using the machine next to you.
Okay. Yeah.
The next machine that I'm going to use is your machine.
Okay.
So I saunter up to you. Hold on. I saunter up to you.
Yeah.
And I say to you, hey, little miss, how many sets do you have left?
How many minutes do I have left?
No, how many sets do you have left? Right?
Okay.
Are you going to be finished soon or not really? Remember, God, that's hard to hold. Jesus Christ.
Oh.
How many sets do you have left? I have now entered your personal auric field, and I am effectively engaging you in an energy exchange which is parasitical in nature, because I don't care about the machine that you have left. I care about little Miss using the little cable machine for the bicep curls. And the reason why I care about it is because I need the machine for the bicep curls. Right? So I want this.
I think you give it. I think you give.
I've become part of your experience now.
I think you give an abrupt. Yeah. You give an abrupt answer, right?
Well, you've impressed yourself into my energy field uninvited.
Correct.
So I'm going to have a few psychic hands come out my back and smack you. Dale taught me that.
But Laura, all I wanted to know was how many cents you have left.
That's all you say. 10.
I don't understand why you need to start beside it.
Etherically slap you, David.
You say 5. That's it. 5. I have 5 more. I'll get away.
Okay, yeah.
5 more.
Yeah.
You have 5 more sets?
5 more sets.
Oh, no, I just say, oh, it won't be long. And then be long. And then really be long.
Oh, and then really be long.
Let me know when you're done.
He's back. He's back.
People experience these things every day, okay? And it's not only men on women, it's women on men too. I don't know what has happened, but the gym has become a predatory experience for a lot of people, right? And so if you are the kind of person who's an empath, like Amy, I could imagine you in that situation. If you are on the empathic side, right? And people saunter up to you like that, you're going to feel the energy that they're coming with. Yeah?
Yeah. Well, can I give you a technique that I use? Because, of course, I was the empath, was like, hi. I would say hi to everybody, right? Which was, I didn't know at the time.
You want a soda?
I didn't know. Who knows what it was?
Anybody want a soda in here?
Wing time.
Okay. What I came up with, guys, was a technique that I used was an invisible cloak I would put on.
Yeah, good one.
And I would put that on. And you could make it any color you want. Mine was sometimes red velvet, purple velvet, something like that. You can make it whatever you want it to be. But you just put that cloak on. It worked for me until it just automatically goes on now. But visually put it on before you go out, before you go in a bar, before you...
Is that why your wall purple? You shielding yourself from us?
Yes, it kind of reflects...
She's purpling herself.
Oh, God. I've never lived this down.
Yeah, I think a certain amount of protection is necessary, though, Amy. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Not to say that it's not going to ever come in, but I am abrupt with people like that. I would give you a number, 5, because you know what? You're going to keep coming back and saying, "Are you done yet?
Are we there yet?"
Yeah, are we there? So I'm going to give you a specific number, a yes or no, or 5 sets. Like, just very abrupt. I learned to be.
I think part of the reason why, part of the reason why this is a toxic environment is because the energy that is coming with the question belies the question in the first place. So I am literally, I'm going to say it on air, giving you like penis type energy, right? Right?
It's weaponized.
When you ask seemingly innocent question. And in these kinds of toxic environments, that's why a lot of people do not go to environments like the gym, like these kinds of places, right? Bars and so on. I know I don't go to any bars. I don't drink, right? But I go to the gym at 4 o'clock in the morning, and you'd be surprised that at 4 o'clock in the morning, somebody's going to wake up with predatory energy. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. You should be tired, right? Nope, it's there. Right? It's there, and they come in the gym, and the stuff is displayed, is on display, and sometimes it enters your field. And I had to find very creative ways of dealing with it, right? Because one of the things that you don't do when you feel that there's an issue in your environment, it's like dogs. Sorry, that came out so badly. I'm going to try to explain what I mean by that. You don't make eye contact. Don't make eye contact. All right? Because the eyes are the window to the sun. They're going to shoot that parabola straight into your system. All right? Having said that, you don't make eye contact, they're going to wonder why. And then they're going to think, this guy sees me. They're going to think, this guy can see me. I'm hiding, but this guy can see me. That's why he's not looking at me. Does that make sense? And then your psychic abilities or your intuitiveness is exposed in that instant when they realize you can see me. Because a lot of people go through life and nobody sees them. Go ahead, Dale.
There's something I want to add, which I've used for quite a while, is so as I'm going out and during the day, I am literally saying to my auric field and body, I'm hardening my energy field. I'm creating a hardening skin all around me, so nothing's coming in. So as I go out, I always just have that kind of instant checkup on my body, and I harden my skin enough so I'm not allowing those projections in. Don't get me wrong, sometimes they do come in, and the main thing about projections, they come at you when you're triggered. So what that person will do will try to find a way in to trigger you, and as soon as you're triggered, that projection gets straight into your auric field. And as I go out, like in big crowds, I'm always telling my auric field, I harden myself. Do I not allow people's projections to come into me today? But sometimes it works against you, because when I'm speaking to people, I'm hardening myself. I don't let them in. So sometimes when I come back, I take it all off so I can speak to my friends. So there's like, it works against you at times, but it's kind of like it's just a state. Go out there and actually harden your energy field, because you need to out there. It's like David said, full of predators, full of people who want to come in and take a bit of you.
Imagine you're in an egg. That's the best way to describe it, like a hard shell. That's one way, or a bubble, if you want to say that. That's another way of doing it, just protecting your auric field so that people aren't coming into it.
It's building up that fortification as well. The more you do fortification practices, whether you see it building brick by brick or whatever, like Dawn said, a bubble, however you do it, it's a regular thing that actually builds it up to be that protection that you need. Because, we do sort of trigger people. It's just how we are.
Building your visuals and all, Laura, building the visuals in your third eye.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
the longer you get the visuals, that makes it more protected, because you're bringing that energy in. So if your visuals are really potent and you can see everything, which is not the unseen stuff, and that's the key in all practice. That just obviously the better your visuals are, the stronger your protection is and all.
Yeah.
Just another level.
Boundary
Just something to add there.
Yeah.
So when you've got your armoring suit, and say if you've used your armoring suit since the start of your journey, my advice would, you have to change it up. Don't use the same armoring suit for a year or 2 years. You have to create a new armoring suit, because it comes a time when that armoring suit doesn't work anymore. So if you're using your golden tube or your golden cloak, after a week or 2 weeks, it doesn't work anymore. So you've got to create and reinvent yourself for new fortifications of many different realities of what you can do. Like, I use the bear skin. I see myself as a bear at times. I go into being a jaguar, then I go into being a cheetah, all these different aspects, because after a while the potency loses, and you hear these people who have had the same protection for 10 or 12 years, and that defense system doesn't work as potent as if you're creating all the time these new kind of...
That's a very good point. I used to pretend to be autistic. And it worked for many years. It worked very well. Okay, like I'm not making eye contact. My head is down. I'm just in my little, all right. I used to pretend to be that guy that has that kind of issue, but it all went to crap when somebody I knew came to the gym at 4 o'clock in the morning. So now I pretend to be the guy who's a little bit slow, right? And they said, "Hey David, what's up?" And I had to I'm like, "Hi, how are you?" And now everybody knows that I can speak. Right?
That's funny.
Oh my
so-
God.
That's funny. I love how this turned all back to the mental health and personal development,
Yeah, correct.
Yes.
right? This was great.
This was fun.
So, Amy, do you want to wrap up the show?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Dawn, how can people get a hold of you?
I've got a website called Dawn, and it's the number 4, spiritualguidance.com.
Yes, please go to Dawn. She's great. And how about Laura?
So if you'd like to come to your own ancestral fire with me, contact me at laura2feathers@gmail.com, or you can find me on twofeathersmedicine.com. If you'd like to, if you're local to the south, Dale and I are setting up now down the south of the UK. We're actually getting some premises, and we're going to be setting up with PEMFMAT, with counselling, and with loads of other modalities that we do. So get in contact me if you're in the UK and you'd like to experience some treatments from Dale and I. Now and again, our friend Frequency Bob, who came to combined therapies in January, he steps in and does his amazing work with us too. So we're gradually building that combined therapies team over here in the UK. But yes, anything at all, if you'd like a session, please contact me. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. How about you, Dale?
So if you'd like to book a soul surgery, psychic surgery session with myself, if you're feeling depressed, down, or you're feeling like there's shit stuck all over you, book a session with me and I'll help you. And there's also ancestral medium training, which is coming up on the 22nd of September. So if you'd like to learn how to be an ancestral medium and start connecting with your guides and guardians and learning how to have conversations with them, learning how to go chill in their realms and so on, it's only £425. So I'm doing a special low price offer. So head over to daletobin.com to book on and send me a message to book a session. And again, what an incredible show. David, Bob, Dawn, Laura, Amy, amazing guys. Like, what an inspiration. And thank you.
Yeah.
Subscribe, like, and yeah, go ahead, Amy. Thank you.
Yes. How about Bob? Do you have any? Would you like to?
Just thanks for having me on the show. I've really enjoyed it. It's been a giggle and very
It's good to have you on.
interesting. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And David, how about
In
you?
return.
I'm just very shy right now.
You're very shy.
Autistic David.
And I feel like I've been put on the spot.
Oh
Okay.
gosh.
Guys, I do DNA testing and sequencing. I could do it internationally for you. My email address is info@unifiedhealthsystems.com, and there's a link inside the chat that you can get more information. We could do it for diet, fitness, health, or we could do an entire genetic profile for y'all. Apart from that, there's a lot of stuff that I do in terms of counseling. So if y'all have like issues with regard to mental health and so on, or you know somebody who does, let them know. I forgot that I also do tissue mineral analysis. For those of you who are suffering from deficiencies, whether you know it or not, it's good to get that stuff checked every once in a while. Apart from that, we run a community, Amy and myself. And you can join us at community.universalcitizentv.com.
Yeah, you did it.
Right.
And
universalcitizentv.com. And
we have a podcast.
And yeah, we have a podcast coming on, which is the Integrated Healing Network, where we talk about everything health related. And that's what we're doing. And I also suggest that you go to Dawn. She's very good. And Laura is excellent at what she does. And Dale, if you guys are around, we have something coming up in October.
Oh, scan.
We need to talk about. We're going to be in the US. The US live event. Scan that code on the screen. Absolutely scan it. Scan it now. That one. Yeah. So scan it now. And so we will be live and in person. So if you think we're ridiculous and funny, on air, you wait till you meet us in person. It's going to
Oh my gosh.
I tell you that. So that's what's happening. Apart from that, yeah, that's it for me. Amy.
Yeah. I mean, I think you said it all there.
No, I did
Amy,
not.
do you want to talk about what's coming up on Sunday?
What?
On Sunday, what's coming up?
Oh, there's a webinar coming up, guys, to sign up for. Okay, so it's called Firing Your Inner blah, blah, hole and Holding Yourself. I don't know if I could say it. And holding yourself.
Amy. Try it, Amy.
Can I try it? Okay. Firing your inner asshole and holding yourself accountable.
Excellent.
Okay. Okay, it's a live webinar. So come on, sign up and join us there. Again, we're going to have fun again, just like we did here today. All of us will be there. And you can reach me actually at pinkmoonlodgepodcast@gmail.com for any questions about the UCM community.
And if you want to sign up to come on and experience the Firing You're an Asshole, head over to the website to sign up as well.
Oh, yes, forgot to tell them that. Well, thank you, everybody. This was really fun.
It was. Thanks,
I liked
guys.
going to the club.
Yes.
The scenario.
We all raise our sodas.
Everyone raise
sodas and David's universal
Sodas for everybody.
Yes. Bye, everybody.
Bye.